What's up YouTube? It's Evo Clash, coming at you with another Clash Royale video. Today, we're using a top 50 players deck to wreck our opponents. It's almost the end of the season, so the players in the top 50 and the decks used in the top 50 are all really strong by now. I'm picking one at random here. This Patron or Patron guy looks pretty good. He's not too high on the trophy road, only in Arena 18, but he is up there, Ultimate Champion number 29 in the world. He's got some badges at Diamond Mastery. We're going to go ahead, check out his battle deck. It's going to be Evo Knight, Graveyard Minions, Arrows, Dark Prince, Snowball Giant, and Musketeer. I don't have Evo Knight, so let's see how we do. Game 1, we're going against a minor Wallbreaker deck, and we're going to open up super aggro with a Giant at the bridge, followed up with a Graveyard, and we're just going to see what happens. Our Giant locks onto the bomb tower, which is a bit unfortunate, but our Graveyard's putting in work, taking care of those Spear Goblins, and getting some nice damage on the tower too. They're going to emote, showing their frustration in dealing with this top 50 deck. That was definitely a lot of damage to eat right at the start of the game. Unfortunately, we're not able to do much on defense, so we do eat those 2 Wallbreaker hits and quite a bit of damage from the Miner. But we're going to have a Knight and a Dark Prince on the counter push. Our opponent drops a Knight on top of our Knight, so we're going to put minions to support our Dark Prince. They're going to drop some Spear Goblins, so we're going to go ahead and snowball those to try and get some value out of the minions. And we do manage to get 2 hits just there. I'm low on elixir, and I think my opponent is too at this point, so I'm going to save up and try and get my Giant ready so I can go for another Graveyard push. If you haven't already and are enjoying the video, consider hitting the like or subscribe button. It really helps out for the channel to grow, and I appreciate it immensely. I'm getting full on elixir, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my Giant in the back here. My opponent's going to go for some kind of push since he has a Magic Archer. It's going to be a minor Wallbreaker push, but I have arrows, so I'm not too worried about taking the chip damage from the Miner. Unfortunately, the Magic Archer locks onto the Giant and gets some hits on the tower, but we have a Musketeer to clean it up and push behind the Giant. We're expecting a bomb tower, and our opponent does it defensively again, so we go for the same Graveyard push, knowing that we're going to get pretty decent value out of it. And with that, we take a tower and still have a Giant pushing over to the left side, so we go ahead and Dark Prince onto the left side as well to apply even more pressure and keep the pressure on for the last minute. They're going to go for a cheeky Wallbreaker right at the bridge, but I have Snowball, so it's not an issue and I'm able to handle both of them. I drop a Knight to soak up the damage from the Spear Goblins, and I drop a Giant in the left lane to soak that up, with minions to help kill the troops. I have enough elixir and a Giant pushing in with minions, so I go ahead and throw another Graveyard down. They're already back to their Wallbreakers, but I have arrows, so it's not an issue. In hindsight, I should have used a Snowball for a more even trade, but I wanted to make sure they didn't get any damage. They're getting desperate, so they drop a Miner to try and get more chip damage, but we have a Knight to help kill it quickly, and a Dark Prince to take care of that Magic Archer before it even crosses the bridge. With not much time left, I put a Giant on their side of the field just to apply extra pressure and make sure they're not able to push on my side at all anymore. My tower's still pretty low health though, so I do have to be wary of Wallbreakers, which they drop right at the end. Luckily I have arrows to take care of them though, and we secure the win. Game 2, we're going to be playing against a Sparky Mega Knight user, and this deck that they're running is straight out of midladder hell. But we're going to see how we do against it and if we can walk away with a W. They're going to drop a Sparky in the back, so we're going to go ahead and get our Dark Prince out and put him in the back because we know his shield can take 1 Sparky hit at least. They're going to put down a Knight and a Firecracker to support the Sparky. It's going to absolutely destroy my Dark Prince, so I have to put down a Knight and some minions to try and defend. I'm late on my Snowball, so I just use it to slow down that Sparky, so I can hopefully get enough time for a Graveyard. I put the Graveyard down hoping to get some skeletons to distract that Sparky, and unfortunately it does get 1 hit, but afterwards, the Graveyard does its job and defends perfectly, and it even manages to clean up this Firecracker. Our opponent must not be good at counting elixir, because they're sitting on 10 elixir while we only had 5. They definitely could have pushed that farther and done a lot more damage to my tower, or potentially took it. They're going to drop an Executioner in the back, so I'm going to go with my Musketeer. But I'm going to wait to drop it, that way when it walks forward, it's slow enough so that the Executioner crosses the bridge and gets hit by my tower as well. I'm not worried about the Goblins on the right hand side, so I just dropped my Dark Prince in front of that Executioner to get it down faster since it was getting damage on my tower. They drop a Knight to deal with our Dark Prince and also zap it so it doesn't get the charge damage. It only manages to get one hit, so we decide to cycle Giant in the back because we need to start getting pressure. They're going to see the slow Giant in the back and go for a push right away, so I have to put down my Knight to defend, and it's going to get absolutely deleted. I'm going to arrows to take everything out, and unfortunately it doesn't get the Firecracker, so I am going to have to use a Musketeer to take her out. Our opponent defends the Firecracker with a Knight though, and I don't have the elixir to do anything else, so I just have to let this push die. Luckily, there's only a minute left in the game, and this deck really shines in double elixir in overtime situations. With a minute left, I have to start building my push now, so I go ahead and I drop my Dark Prince in the back, and I get ready to put my Giant right at the bridge. My push is going right into a Sparky now, which isn't the best look, but I have Graveyard, so I'm hoping if I get it down fast enough, it'll distract the Sparky before my Giant gets there. And it does just that. We throw our Snowball onto the bats and the tower to slow it down, just to get even more damage out of that Giant and those skeletons. Our opponent has a Mega Knight and a Sparky coming at us, which is very scary, but luckily their tower isn't on that much health, so we just have to defend. If I can hold out for these last 15 seconds, then I'll be able to use my arrows onto their tower to secure the win. I go ahead and drop my Giant just to soak up all the damage and make sure nothing else gets onto my tower. There's a swarm on my right hand side, so I snowball it to be safe and throw the arrows to win. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe.